Hey gang, John Bacarella here. Oh boy, that sucked. Hey gang, John Bacarella here with your Lake St. Clair fishing report. And it is March 25th, so we're almost to April. And I think about the last time I gave you guys a report was about a week ago. And we said that the ice was about gone, and it is about gone. But there's still some spots out there, believe it or not, that have ice. Took a ride around the lake today, just checking things out, seeing where boat launches were in and where they weren't in. Stopped off at the Crocker Road, or what they call the Clinton River Cutoff boat launch, that you guys all know that one. And lo and behold, there was still ice, and there was still a guy out on the ice. And what I've heard is they've been catching fish there. But anyways, that ice is scary looking. It's not much ice left. It's open water out, not even to the point there. And that's some of the last lake ice that I've seen anywhere is hanging in right there. If you go over by the Selfridge boat launch there by the end of M59, the main lake is wide open there as well. And it's mostly open back into the canal. Nobody on that ice back there. We're just kind of waiting for it to go bye-bye so everybody can fish from shore all the way back in that canal there. And when it does open up, which should be later this week, you can expect to have some pretty darn good panfish in there. The perch last year were really good in there in the spring, and I expect them to be really good there again. Still some guys poking around in the canals, on the ice, in the marinas. There's still a good 10 inches in some of these bloody marinas right now, just because of how much thickness we had. So it's going to be a while before guys are docking boats in most of these marinas. Now, I did call around the state for you ice heads that really want to get on some safe ice, and I called up to both Houghton Lake, up to Lyman's up there, and the amount of ice they got up there is almost crazy. I'm not going to quote any numbers, but there's a lot of ice, and guys are still fishing up there. Starting to pull away from the edges a little bit, but I don't think you're having any trouble getting on the ice if you want to go. The same thing, I called up to Pilgrim's Village, talked to them, and they were busy in the store when I called up. And it sounds like they got some really nice catches of panfish coming out of Cadillac and Mitchell. I think mostly perch on Cadillac, if I'm understanding right. And Mitchell was a lot of crappies and gills, but Cadillac was producing some nice perch. And I heard they're getting some real nice mixed bags up there on Higgins Lake as well. So for you guys that like fishing that deeper water and maybe mixing in some lake trout, some smelt, even some, I guess, some landlocked rainbows up there as well. Sounds like a pretty good time. So that's up on the north end. Now also, it's steelhead time, and I started getting reports in, actually guys asking me if I wanted to go on a road trip, because it sounds like the steelhead fishing is starting to heat up north as well. The Betsy River's got some fish in there, and there is a ton of snow up north. So next warm snap we get and warm rain up there, you can expect those rivers to get really high, really fast for a while. But the good news is we had such a cold winter, guys. When we do finally get that melt off for that steelhead run up north, they're really going to come in. There's going to be a lot of fish that have wintered over and really not done the happy dance yet until that water warms up. And until we lose all that snow and all that ice cover on the upper headwaters, any of these rivers that, above the dams where it's all frozen and everything, it's going to take a while to lose all that ice. And until then, those water temperatures are going to stay cold, and those fish are not going to spawn. So once all that stuff lets loose, you're going to have a really nice run of fish, and I think it's going to be just a melee when it finally happens up north. Don't have any reports of the Clinton River. However, with these warm snaps that we've had, you can bet there's fish in there right now. Now that the lake ice is gone, those fish should have moved in, and they should be heading up into those spawning areas, up into those gravel beds, up further closer to Yates, and then down by Ryan, and you know all the spots up there. But just watch those water temps as we get these warmer days. The fish activity will pick up, and for the guys that are chasing steelhead up there, you can rest assured you're going to get some fish. Now, there has been perch coming off of the public access over at Selfridge on the lakeside, because like I said, the canals have been still froze up pretty good back in there, and that's going to pick up as well, although the water's dirtied up quite a bit with the north winds that we've had, including today. It's been blowing out of the north pretty good, so that's not going to help clean the water up anytime soon. There's been crappies coming out of the canals, all still on the ice for the most part, or off of the docks. I mean, there's a lot of guys on the docks, and if we get a couple more 50-degree days, these guys probably aren't going to be able to get on that ice anymore. Water temperature on the main lake right now at Belle Isle today, 37 degrees. I know guys have been talking, I've seen some posts online about guys getting 45-degree water temps and all this stuff. Guys, that's just surface temps that you're getting out there right now when that sun is up, and in that dirtier water, it's like a solar magnet, and that little bit of upper surface water warms up. But that water is still really, really cold. That water coming down out of Huron is really, really cold. To keep things in perspective, when we freeze every year, okay, that water temp, when it hits like 38 degrees and we get a couple of cold nights, that's when it skims over. So if we had cold weather right now, a couple of cold nights, she would skim right back over. 37 degrees, man, it's cold. For the guys that are jigging walleyes already, and there has been quite a few guys out, I guess up on the St. Clair River more than down on the Detroit River. I talked with Anderson Baits up there, and they are launching in Port Huron by the Water Street Inn. I guess there's a couple of docks pushed in, and it was packed up there with guys. So I would imagine, you know, if you're going to drive up there, you're taking your chances whether or not you get her spot or not. But they are putting in. But when I talked with Joel earlier today, the water up there was, in his words, trashed from the north wind. I looked at the satellite imagery up there on Lake Huron, and there's a little bit of ice over on the Canadian side. That wind's got it pushed over there, and I'm kind of doubting that it's going to work its way down to the river. So I really think the ice flows for the season should be done. I don't want to jinx anybody, but there didn't look like much ice up in the main lake. It's all over there on the Canadian side on Lake Huron, and it's going to be really tough unless we get a strong east wind to push it back out and suck it down the river. So I think the ice flow situation up there should be done for the year. So, you know, but again, cold water, dirty water right now, so nothing really hot and heavy going on up there. I talked with Mose down on the Detroit River to kind of get a read for you guys. I know you really want to get your boats in and get down there. St. Jean's is not going to open up until April 1st. So April 1st, it'll open and you guys can launch down there. Right now, you can launch at Alter Road. Again, small parking lot over there at Alter, so you know, if you're going to go down there, you might be taking your chances, but right now it hasn't been like full that I know of. But you can launch smaller boats at the Alter Road boat launch. And they were catching fish. Even today, even in the crappy conditions, I guess they got some fish right out there in front of Alter. So it is beginning, even with the cold weather. Now, as a tip for that cold weather, with the water as cold as it is right now, don't be afraid to take minnows out, guys. Minnows are your friend right now. Putting some meat on that jig is going to get you more bites, you know, so big shiners and stinger hooks are going to be your friend for sure until that water temperature warms up substantially. Let's see, other notes for you guys. It's opened up, I guess there's a ramp back here right now at Metro. They pushed one of the launches in, so you can get out launching from the Metro Park here behind the store. As it is right now, Harley doesn't have any ramps in. So I was down there today, there's no ramps in there. As I mentioned, and from the photo of the guy sitting out on the ice, there's still ice at Crocker. Even though it's pulled away quite a ways from the shoreline right there, there's still ice and there's no ramp in the water there. I don't know of any other ramps down on this end of the lake where you can launch. So even if you're going to launch over at Harley right now, you'll be, you know, it's probably a two-man job with boots to launch down there. If you are going out on the lake, guys, please remember this time of the year, and in the bottom of the photo of Harley, you're going to see two great big, probably pilings from somebody's dock, okay? That somebody pulled in there, a Good Samaritan pulled in, or they washed up on shore. But there's a lot of that stuff out there in the lake right now. You still have ice out there. So you're going to have runoff from the Clinton River when the rain, all the rivers, all the tributaries along the Great Lakes right now are going to be pumping trees and pilings and all kinds of debris in out there into the lake. So please use extreme caution. If you're running out there and you're up on plane and you hit one of these we call them deadheads, you know, they submerged, you might not be able to see them. They're going to sink you in a hurry, and there's no one out there to come get you. Okay, so that 37-degree water, hypothermia can set in really fast. I don't want to lose anybody. So if you're out there, guys, really pay close attention. Keep those speeds down so that we bring everybody back in safely. The perch fishing is going to heat up, absolutely 100%. Back here in Metro, I know they've started picking a few fish up. That Black Creek going out to the lake is open. If you got access anywhere along the Clinton River, you're going to have perch there right now. you know, the panfish fishing is going to really heat up, especially with the high water that we have. Can't think of too much else to tell you guys. I know that's a lot of information to digest really fast. Fishing is just going to get better and better. I don't have any sucker reports for you guys, but that's going to happen here pretty quick too. Probably within the next week or so, you'll start to see suckers showing up in the Clinton River, or at least the bite should pick up as the water warms up. Oh, they are getting perch in the spillway. So that's been going on here for a few days that I know of for sure. Be careful with those regulations up there on the spillway, as far as, you know, having bobbles and babbles on your line. You know that you got to watch that. I think it's above Harper. But check your regulations if you're going to go fish the spillway. Make sure that you are legal. The DNR will be checking it because that is closed to walleye now. So with all that said, and I know that's a mouthful, I will talk to you guys again. If I get fresh reports or new updated information, we will try to update you later this week. Otherwise, you're not going to hear from me until I have more info for you. You have a great one and be careful out there. Enjoy the spring weather.